Many of you already know what ear candy is, but why is everyone talking about it and why is it so important to have it in your own beats? Ear candy keeps the listener engaged. It makes your beat interesting and it makes it stand out from standard beats that only have a drum pattern, that have a loop or a sample in it. Ear candy makes the beat your own. And to make the beat really your own and to make it original, it can make a big difference if you're using sample packs for those ear candy sounds or if you make them yourself. And in this video I will show you 5 quick ways to make ear candy yourself. The first way to make ear candy yourself is to use something like a glitch effect or a granular synthesizer. In Ableton there is a stock granulator plugin and I've dragged this sample in there. And what I want to do now is play some very high melodies. And then we are going to use the granulator. And what we are going to do now is experiment with those parameters in the granulator. The best part about this granulator is that you have this random button here where you can randomize the position. So for every grain it plays at a different position of the sample that is randomly picked. I will use Supermassive by Valhalla. Spread this out so it's not one short sound. And if I let this play for a few times, you hear that every time it loops it's a little bit different. So what we are going to do now is just copy this a few times. We are gonna bounce this whole thing, and this is the result of our first ear candy technique. Cut out some of those pieces. Put this, for example, in your drum loop, somewhere in your melodies to spice it up a little and to tickle the ear of the listener. Take out some loop of a previous project. While I do that, let's talk about what ear candy actually is. Ear candy are the sounds that tickle the ear of the listener, that make your beat interesting, and most of the times it's high-pitched sounds or very short sounds and always sounds that stand out from your other sounds. So if you have a very acoustic beat, maybe some short electronic sound could be your ear candy to make the beat interesting, and maybe that is exactly your style. Okay, so I've pulled in a drum pattern from a previous project and let's listen to it. And let's add some of those granular sounds on some of the drum hits. I like to add some of this stuff on the snares. And just like that, we've spiced up the drum pattern a little bit, and we will continue to add to this later. Of course, with these melodic ear candy sounds, you have to look out for the key of your beat, or you have to build the drum pattern first and then build your ear candy sounds and then build a melody or something melodic on that. That's also cool, and I also like to do that. But if you already have a beat with a sample and you just want to add ear candy afterwards, maybe this type of ear candy is not for you and you should rather add something less melodic and more percussive. And that is what we are going to do now. We are going to add some Foley sounds. And what I mean with this is real recordings of real things. We are going to look for, or we are going to record, even better, some sounds that are in the real world, that people may recognize, that awake a little memory of something in people's heads. And sometime last year I did exactly that. I recorded some sounds out of the forest, and this sound right here sounds pretty good for those sort of snapback before a snare drum. And you immediately have this organic feel and the drums feel less programmed. And I'm gonna add another sound to the beat from my Foley sounds. Gonna put it on some of the kicks, but not on all of them. Number 3 of our methods is using a delay. And this sounds very obvious or basic right now, but I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's first take some melodic sound, and if you have a beat already, it's obviously the best if you use something out of this beat. For this beat, I have used this sample. And to make ear candy out of this sample, we're going to use the Ableton Echo. This is a really nice tape echo, and it's also a stock plugin. And we're going to look for a part in our sample where you hear that there could be a break in the sample. There could be a short silence. I think right here is where it is in this sample. Only use this part that we took out earlier. So what we're doing now is creating some delay throws. So we have a delay or an echo, but we are not putting it on the whole sample, but on a specific drag, and we're dragging down some parts of the sample in certain positions that we want to have the delay effect. And I've pitched this sample up an octave. But the problem is, if we have this playing, the delay goes on even longer, and that's why we're going to put the feedback down. Maybe faster on the right, maybe on the left. Some reverb. And what we can do now is do some more of this higher pitched effect. And what we can do as well is put some more effects on there. Maybe some auto pan, maybe some saturation, and this spectral resonator maybe. And let's listen to all of that. And this is already number 4 of our ear candy tricks. Use some automation, and that's what we're going to do now. We are going to automate the frequency. And I wouldn't call the next thing trick number 5, more like 4.5, but sometimes ear candy is not putting ear candy anywhere. For example, with this right here, if we would repeat this again and again, like that, listen to it. It very quickly becomes very predictable. So sometimes ear candy is just removing stuff. And I think with this removed, it sounds much better. And the last trick is making variants of your ear candy by reversing, by chopping. For example, this could be right there. Let's reverse that. For the last part, let's chop this up a little bit, and let's change the automation for this last part. And to incorporate this ear candy on top, let's render this and put it in the right scale. So finally, let's compare the complete loop with the ear candy tracks turned on and then turned off. So first off. And now on. Let me know in the comments down below if you like the more minimalistic version more. I think without those sounds, it's a pretty generic beat that I made in about an hour. But with those sounds, it sounds unique, it sounds original, and it just feels better to me. Also, let me know your favorite techniques to make ear candy sounds in the comments down below, or if you don't make them yourself, where you get them from. I'm looking forward to answering your comments. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, just consider liking and subscribing. See you guys next time.